said, I will tell you at the time. I'll keep you in suspense.
I want to follow up on a question of resources that Senator Heinrich asked your opinion on. Press reports yesterday indicated that Director Comey requested additional resources from the Justice Department for the Bureau's ongoing investigation into Russian active measures. Are you aware of that request? Can you confirm that that request was in fact made?
I cannot confirm that request was made. As you know, ma'am, when we need resources, we make those requests here. So I'm not aware of that request, and it's not consistent with my understanding of how we request additional resources. That said, we don't typically request resources for an individual case. And as I mentioned, I strongly believe that the Russia investigation is adequately resourced.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Just over 24 hours ago, the president fired FBI Director James Comey, the man overseeing the Bureau's investigation into possible collusion between Russia and the president's own campaign. And he did that only days after Comey had requested more money and staff to pursue that very investigation. That was revealed today, first by the New York Times, later confirmed by NBC News. But according to the White House, Comey's firing had nothing to do with his recent request for resources.
You are fake news.
I'm not aware of that request, and it's not consistent with my understanding of how we request additional resources.
Today, we learned that a few days before he was fired yesterday, FBI Director James Comey went to the new Deputy Attorney General and asked for more resources for the Trump-Russia investigation. Not only did Comey never get those resources, the new Trump appointee, he asked for those resources, then wrote a memo laying out all the reasons Jim Comey should be fired. And of course, Jim Comey, director of the FBI, was fired yesterday. So that's where we are, right? Sally Yates warning the White House about Mike Flynn and his ties to Russia. She gets fired.
You are fake news.
When she tries to testify to Congress about her warning, the White House tried to block her testifying.
You are fake news.
CNN, as you know, is reporting that earlier in the week, Comey actually requested more resources from the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, for the entire Russia investigation. The Department of Justice denies this.
You are fake news.
I cannot confirm that request was made. As you know, ma'am, when we need resources, we make those requests here.
What do you know about this request?
I've heard the same information that you've reported. I've heard it from credible sources, and I believe it happened based on that information. And if it did, the fact that the decision was made by the White House within days to terminate Comey rather than give him the resources he needs tells us two things. Number one, he was in hot pursuit of some valuable information and just didn't have the horses necessary to reach.
You are fake news.
And secondly, if we're going to have an investigation by anyone else, the Senate Intelligence Committee or whatever it happens to be, they need the resources. They need the manpower to make sure it's a thorough investigation.
Well, let me just be precise, Senator. You're saying the request for more resources by the FBI director to pursue this investigation, that there was a direct connection between that and the president's decision a few days later to go ahead and fire him?
Absent other evidence, that is a credible conclusion.
You are fake news.
If you're in the Trump White House and you know that they're looking for collusion by members of the Trump campaign, it's pretty clear they're in hot pursuit when they're asking for more resources for investigation. At that point, they decided the best thing to do was to terminate James Comey.
That said, we don't typically request resources for an individual case. And as I mentioned, I strongly believe that the Russia investigation is adequately resourced.